what is the science, technology, engineering, and mathematics that we can prepare students for at the high school level to prepare them for where STEM is in the 21st century, not the 20th century. And so we have this space here, the IA building. There's 3 different bays down at the very end. You can see the door down there. Has been Mrs. Moe's art classroom for years. And then the 3 bays that follow this way, we've got the wood shop, metal shop, and then the auto shop. For several years, enrollment in those classes hasn't been very high because of interest in pursuing college. There's a lot of other classes that Jason's going to talk about later that we offer here that a lot of you guys are already aware of that push towards the college entrance in preparation for that. The far end wood shop has been repurposed as a work facility for the operations here on campus. The next one over, which is the old metal shop, has been repurposed as, we'll call it an art laboratory. It's now Carol Moe's expanded space to be able to do more, bigger, better with the art program. And this space right here, which is what we want to talk to you guys about tonight, has been the area that's been repurposed for what we've called for a while now the STEM lab space. Looking forward to the future of what this space should look like. And realistically, we're looking at repurposing this area in here for two main projects. Number 1, a new science lab space, and number 2, a robotics and technology space. Our goal in doing that is to make sure that we're giving students as much hands-on and experience as possible. Book work is absolutely important and absolutely necessary, but pairing that up with hands-on and pairing that up with competitiveness is what we view where we want to go with a lot of what we're doing educationally here. And one of the things that you have to have in order to go down that road is facilities. So this space is the space that we've been working with. We've been out here for robotics this year, utilizing this space. Last year with only 1 robotics team, we managed in a corner in my classroom. But with now having our own play field, and then also having 3 teams, we absolutely needed this space. So how this space is going to be used, what are the vision we've put together, I'll kind of describe it based on what you see on the floors. Last summer, this wall came down. It was structurally not okay. There were some issues with it. Tore it down, rebuilt a new wall. We got the space up and running so that we can occupy it. When they brought the wall down, they cut the floor back to here, cut out the concrete, and then they cut out these 4 sections here. And at the end of each of these 4 sections, and then at 5 more locations, parallel, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then an extra one in this row, we already have conduit with electrical running to those 9 locations, so that when we do get to the point where we're able to purchase brand new 4-person lab stations, we've got electrical already where we need it, laid out just where we want it. And then along that wall, you can see they've left some of the water and drain pieces along the wall. Along that wall, we've designed in 6 washout stations for science labs. Jason will talk more about the benefit of having all of that compared to what he's been working with for the past 14 years? 13 years. So this area over here, so this half over here is, the intent is to repurpose it to a brand new lab space, finishing off some of the walls, finishing off ceiling, creating a really nice workable space. The other half over here is where we plan on keeping some of the stuff that you see here, shifting this over a little bit, and then using this bay over here to repurpose some of the equipment that we have, but also potentially putting in some new workspace for robotics and any technology or drafting, some engineering classes, and then space back over there for machining equipment that we are hoping in the future to be able to get. Machining, wood shop, auto shop, has been the standard for a long time, but where technology is going now, you go talk to a machinist, the machinist isn't turning cranks anymore on an end mill or a lathe, they're programming. They're programming CNC machines to do the work for them, and that's where we want to head, being able to teach students how to design in a computer, program a machine to do the work, because that's where manufacturing is right now. So that's kind of the general overview of how this space is intending to be used. And one of the hopes with this space, some of the opportunities that we're hoping that it opens up, first off, is research partnerships. We've got a fairly close working relationship with Corbin University, and both Jason and I, primarily Jason, has been, I'll just briefly talk about it, I'll probably talk about it more, have been in conversation with a research faculty member over at Corbin, conversations that have led to being able to do some research partnerships. They acquire grants every year for different research projects that the science department does, and being able to take high school students and pair them up with college students, both undergrad and graduate level college students, to be able to partner with them in doing research alongside them. And having this space is going to be a big part of us being able to do that. Jason will also talk a little bit more about some of the grant stuff and mentorship opportunities as well. I think that pairs up more with what Jason, Mr. Brownell, has been doing already over the past several years. So, you're up, man.
All right. Well, good evening. Thank you guys for taking the time to come tonight. I know the majority, but for just sake of introduction, my name is Jason Brownell. I've had the privilege of teaching at Salem Academy for the last 13 years. So you could almost say I'm a lifer when it comes to investment. You can call me Brownie, that's what the students call me, and that's all right. Middle schoolers, usually it's Mr. Brownie, but Brownie tonight would be fine. But this is such an exciting time for the Salem Academy Science Department in reference to facilities that we've worked out of, to see them the fruit of the labor and intensity that we put into the students, and now see where those students are post high school, post undergrad, and now actually in professional fields, is such an encouragement. I'll be the first to say we are extremely blessed in reference to the financial support that we've had within the Math and Science Department since I've been here. It's one of the departments that really the school has taken seriously to continue to grow and encourage growth, but to take it to where we have a vision, it's the space. And when this opened up a year and a half ago as a potential site, for me, I was like a kid in a candy store, just thinking, what could it look like? And not just for the high school, because part of the educational philosophy I have is students, yes, need the content, but they need an ability for an outreach to be able to teach younger students or to be mentored by older students. And that's where the mentorship from Corbin coming down, and actually we've already done 3 labs with first graders in my college level classes, where the first grade have come to my classroom for an introductory STEM lab. We've done kidney dialysis with them. We've done thermal regulation testing with their skin. So big concepts for the high school kids, but they pare it down to the little ones so the little ones can get the hands-on experience just to build that excitement. So there's quite the buzz already in the elementary land. When's the STEM lab gonna be done? Because all the teachers want to come over for that field trip. And I think it's such a strong reinforcement for the high school students to be able to then teach the content on lab days, but then have the space where they're not confined. And for some of the families, you know the confining space that I'm talking about in my classroom. But again, being very thankful with regards to what we've accomplished and what we can accomplish. Some of you have already taken advantage of, or will be potentially in the future, taking advantage of what we offer in reference to our dual credit courses. And having students that leave here with upwards of 24 semester hours is incredible. When that works out they can accomplish their first year of college by taking not just math and science, but also a total of 12 other content courses spread out through the diverse course offerings at Salem Academy. But in reference to the science and math, what a great way to enhance with the space. Joe mentioned the researcher, Dr. Sarah Comstock, PhD from OHSU, I've worked under for the last 4 or 5 years. And she really is wanting to kind of merge that partnership, not just because of the dual credit, but every student is trying to find a niche for application, especially when they want to go to college. So what an application opportunity for the students to mark down that they've had research opportunities, especially at a collegiate level, where then they could go present at a conference and be under the tutelage of, let's say, a college mentor or even a college professor that would then utilize our research space here. So yes, this is just the nuts and bolts, but the vision is much more than just the hardware, what we could then do with that space. But really, it's not just catering to the high schoolers, it's building that excitement and involvement at the younger age. I have 4 boys, and it blesses my heart when they say their favorite content is Bible, but then when it says it's a close second, science, yes, they love the math and science. So there is excitement, there's potential, and we are just excited, especially from the feedback with regards to the STEM lab, that this is an extremely positive catalyst that really, I think, in 13 years of seeing where a school could go, a big step is being made. And that for me, as one that's invested in Joe, there's been a lot of long hours, a lot of sweat, tears, frustrations, but this is that time where it's like, okay, I can see something that's tangible and people are getting excited about that. And for me, that's such an encouragement. So, dual credit, blessings there, especially with financial savings, but only an enrichment that would take place in here to go with the content that the students are learning in the class.